Hey tubers, welcome back for another adventure, and what you're looking at is a 1982 Honda ATC110. You can look and see the front tire is completely shot there. My buddy AJ had this at the Stormville Flea Market. Once again, you can look and see it's really just bad. It's gone, right? You can see one of the back tires there is alive. You can see the plastic is good. It had potential. The seat needs some love and attention. I think the metal underneath the seat is still with us. The gas tank, Krispy Kreme inside. The engine was messed with a bit. He was after $500 for it. You know, I considered it. It's just... The 110 is just not an all-terrain vehicle that I like. They are very tipsy-turvy. At least this one's a little more modern. I don't know if you could tell there. The foot pegs don't slide fore and aft. What they do is they move upward. If you hit something with them, they move upward and lift you, rather than the old ones would just slide backwards, and then your feet would fall off and get under the tire and, you know, cause all kinds of pain and suffering. So the 82-110 is a little better. I don't know if you noticed on the photos, but it also had CDI ignition, which is a step forward in my opinion. Perhaps the points and coil would, you know, live through a, you know, nuclear pulse or something, but I prefer the CDI. So anyway, that's the thing I passed on. So that 110, I probably would have gone 300. He wanted 5. I probably could have got it for 4 and a quarter, 450. It was just, for what it was a little, I don't know. It just didn't work for me. Also, even if one says, yeah, but you got a lot of parts there. 110cc parts don't go for a lot of money. One of the things I did pick up from AJ, and he does clean outs and all. So this belonged to a guy who enjoyed model aviation. And just starting with the yellow gas tank. This yellow gas tank, you could actually plug it in and turn it on. And depending which direction you go to, you can actually put fuel into the model plane's gas tank or take the fuel out of the model airplane's gas tank. I thought that was crazy cool. You also have, this is for the globe plug, I believe. This is for cycling batteries. This is for determining RPM. There were a bunch of these little pieces in there. Right, this ream, I'm not quite sure what you ream for model airplanes. Obviously a bunch of hex keys. This probably had something on it for pulling fluids out of it. Anyway, somebody built this. This is empty. It was just in the bag. I just thought it was interesting, right? Anyway, I gave him 10 bucks for it. I couldn't pass it up for 10 bucks. When I go to flea markets, a lot of times I'm like looking to fill things. Like this is the 13 that I missed. It's a Craftsman 12 point. I prefer 6 point, but 12 point was available. I went $3 there. You know, I'm always going crazy for the $1 deals. So the clip-on fan was $1. These guys need some love and attention. They were $1. These, we used to live with these. Bondage, Allen keys, and the Phillips head. All that stuff, $1 each. So you can't go wrong for that. I buy this stuff and lose it and then have to buy it again all the time. These are those screen fuel filters, right? Mesh, not paper. And this is a valve, the small hose size valve. Anyway, the valve was 4 and the filters were 3 for $5. Here's a little air compressor, Black & Decker version. You plug it in Nice little hose guy. This was $2. I think my buddy who does roadside picking found that somewhere. Caught up with my buddy Luther. He sells tools, and he normally gives me, for small items like this, $1 off. I also bought a bunch of $1 t-shirts, given that my t-shirt collection is getting trashed. I figured this thing, you know, try it out with the new workbench for hanging stuff up. And if I like it, next time I see them, I'll buy a bunch more. Batteries between the watches and little clocks and everything else floating around. Seems that I use, I don't know, like these 357s. I go through a bunch of those, and then the rest of the card I really have no need for. And unfortunately, you know, tools wear out, break, or get forgotten out in the rain and snow. I added the battery to this. Woman had 3 tools. She had this guy, she had the circular saw, and she had the flashlight, and she wanted 20 for the 3 of them. And I only wanted this. I have a few of the circular saws floating around, and quite honestly, I rarely ever use them. This comes in handy. You know, sometimes you bring in a piece of firewood that's just a little too long for the fireplace. So this is handy for just cutting that off. I mean, I happen to use the reciprocating saw quite a lot, and one of mine just passed on. I was kind of surprised. I went to use it, and it wouldn't fire up. I did the taps and everything else you do to it, slid the battery in and out, and it would have fired up. So the next thing is to take it apart and figure out exactly what went wrong. Maybe it's just that, you know, the motor's on a little bit of a dead spot, and once I twist and turn it a bit, it'll be back. But anyway, I picked this up for $10 as a replacement. I guess nothing lives forever, including these things. Stormville was a big show, and the weather was great, and as a matter of fact, it was kind of crowded, which was cool. For me, it's kind of strange. For a lot of my buddies that I've known for 20, and Luther, God, I've known him since Maybrook. We're talking the late 70s, right? Call it 1980 just for a number. That's over 40 years I've known Luther. And some of these people in 40 years, they go from becoming, you know, kids like myself, you know, 15, 20-year-olds, and suddenly they're becoming 55 and 60. And if you do the flea market business, particularly Luther does tools and all, he moves a lot of heavy stuff. You know, you move a vise, it could be 80 pounds. So some of my buddies are starting to get old. And to me, it's like surprising when, oh, where's so-and-so? Oh, he couldn't make it. He hurt his foot, hurt his back, you know, is being treated for some other malady. It's weird, but it's odd to see the crew get older. I wish more of the younger crew was getting involved in this. I guess that's where AJ is doing well. He's the guy who does the clean outs, and he finds a lot of this cool stuff. I wish there were more AJs patrolling the curbs and sniffing around to find stuff like this. So young people, get into junk. The world needs you. Anyway, so a flea market, look what I found. A flea market, look what I didn't buy. And a flea market philosophy of we need more young people to get into the junk business. Anyway, I want to thank you all for watching. Remember, feet down, heads up, and get out there and enjoy each and every day. Thank you for Dunkin' Donuts or Donut Dan for reminding me. Take care now, folks. Bye.